Welcome, NBA fans, to our NBA Finals 2016 discussion. My name is Brandon, and with me is Unrivaled Multimedia. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully you're doing better than Russell Westbrook is doing right now because, it's been a tough 48 hours for him.
Yeah, definitely. But that can't really take away from how good the Thunder were. And I want to give a shout-out to the Toronto Raptors as well. Both teams went down fighting, but yeah, Russell Westbrook's probably really pissed.
Yeah, exactly. More pissed than his outfits that he wears.
Exactly. So welcome to the video today, guys. This is what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be talking about the NBA Finals 2016, which are here. It is upon us. And we are just going to break down and talk about the NBA Finals and I'm going to be asking you a few questions. And once again, I do want to give a big shout out to the Toronto Raptors and the Oklahoma City Thunder who played their hearts out, but they just couldn't do it. So, Brian, here we go. The Golden State Warriors, 73-9 record, the greatest record in NBA history. Still crazy to think about. They beat the Rockets and the Blazers in 5 games. Then they were down 3-1 against the Oklahoma City Thunder and made, I think they did the 10th team in NBA history to come back 3-1. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. They are. This is something that we are not seeing a lot anymore. It happened earlier in the NBA history, but not anymore. Usually if you're down 3-1, it is church.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I wanted to mention that and talk about the records and what teams they beat in order to do that. And speaking of that, the Cleveland Cavaliers went 57-25, not a bad record. They swept the 2 first series, and we were both kind of right about that. We discussed that. And then all of a sudden, Toronto's like, hey, we're here, and they beat them in 6. And I thought the Raptors played great.
Yeah, especially Bismack Biyombo, and I would love to be his agent right now.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying this because he had a really good playoffs. I really mean this. But I had a hunch. I was like, that guy's going to kind of break out of his shell because he was a high draft pick.
Yeah. To the Charlotte Hornets, former Bobcats. And I guess once again, Michael Jordan lets a player go and he grows.
Exactly. All righty, guys. So let's discuss the NBA Finals. And Brian, the first question is, and this is kind of a double question in a way, the biggest X factor for the Warriors and Cavs is who?
Now on the Cleveland Cavaliers, then I have it as Kevin Love. When he plays well for the Cavs, they are a whole different type of team. They are a beast. When he's hitting his threes, when he's mixed up going inside through the post, also trying to play defense and rebounding. He's got to rebound. And that guy, if he does not break it, this series could be quick for the Cavs. Now, on the other end, for the Warriors, I think it has to be Draymond Green. He cannot get any more technicals because if he's out of the lineup, he is the heart and soul of that team. I know Steph Curry is their best player, but he is the heart. He brings it every game. And he has to stay on the court, not get in foul trouble, not get thrown out of games, and we'll play lockdown defense on LeBron. So I think those are the 2 guys that really impact the series the most as far as being X factors.
Yeah, I agree. And I like what you said about Kevin Love and his rebounding. I mean, Kevin Love's the same man who, if I'm correct, once had 31 points and 30 rebounds. Do you remember when that happened?
Yes, that was like 2 years ago. That was incredible. It was actually the first time since Moses Malone, to let you know how that doesn't happen often. I don't know what has happened to his rebounding.
Yeah.
This guy was a phenom 2 years ago. And I know that LeBron's there and they say he's lost his confidence stuff, but Kevin Love has to play on that type of level for the Cavs to have a chance, in my opinion, on winning the NBA Finals, because when he plays well, the Cavs they become the best team almost in the NBA, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I feel like it's one of those things, since Cleveland's always good when they have LeBron James, that the Cavs kind of get forgot about. And both you and I could be sleeping on the Cavs, who knows?
Right.
But it's also the same thing with Kevin Love. I feel like because he's surrounded by LeBron and Kyrie, that he sort of gets forgotten about. And because he's not,
no doubt.
Yeah, and because he's not putting up the numbers that he did in Minnesota, he kind of gets – even I forget about Kevin Love all the time. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's Kevin Love. It's like one of those things.
Yeah, because, I mean, he either is out there putting up big numbers or doing nothing. He never seems to be consistent. On the road, he's one player. At home, he's another.
Exactly. All right, so moving on to our next question, and this is going to kind of lead into our next question. If the Cavs lose this series, in your opinion, it means blank.
Oh, it just means that's the traditional Cleveland sports continuing, and as a loser city that it seems to be, unfortunately. But seriously, I think this means that there could be a possibility of LeBron leaving.
Yeah.
And the reason being, it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with the camaraderie he has with Dwayne Wade. We know him and Dwayne Wade are best friends. In the middle of the season this year, he went to Miami to work out with Dwayne Wade.
Yep.
I don't see how that was actually.
Which that caused a whole bunch of controversy in its own.
Yes, and it should. I mean, who goes to work out with the opponent?
Yep.
So when another team's paying you, by the way. But yes, there are rumors out there that if he does not win, that somehow he would go back there. And we know LeBron has the money, and he does not want to go through it. And I think if they were to get dominated in the finals, I don't know he would come back because we know he's a year-to-year guy when it comes to the Cleveland. We don't know LeBron's contract with the Cavaliers, which we just think is just basically a handshake, year-to-year agreement.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this is huge for the Cavaliers.
It's really interesting, too, because it's also – because I think LeBron can opt out or something this year.
Yeah, I think he doesn't have any kind of long-term deal with the Cavaliers.
Yeah, and it's also like if LeBron and the Cavs lose this series, it could mean something huge for Cleveland too. Like, what if the Cavs just decide to call it quits if LeBron does leave, if that's even a thought in the Cavs or LeBron's mind? So we got to think about that. And we could go on for days talking about that. And for the record, Brian, I actually didn't know this, but I looked it up. This is the 14th time the same two teams have met in the NBA Finals 2 consecutive years. So I think that's interesting.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I was like, that's great. That's awesome. Definitely. And then following up with our question, if the Cavs lose the series question, LeBron James' 6 straight trips to the final is blank.
It is a remarkable feat, first off. Let's get that out of the way. This is something that we'll probably never see again because in the modern NBA, it's a lot of upheaval, a lot of turnover and everything. For him to be consistent with 6 straight finals, incredible.
Yep.
But you've got to win. You've got to win if you're LeBron. You cannot go 2-4. If you win with 3, then you can say you beat the Spurs, you beat I'm forgetting another team, Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And then you say you beat the Warriors. You say you beat 3 great teams in the span of your career. If you lose, then it just looks like you could not bring the title to Cleveland, and then all the naysayers and all the haters come back and all of that. So there is a lot of pressure on LeBron to finally bring a title to Cleveland because that is the only reason he came back. It wasn't for the money because he could have got more money in Miami State. So this
could have made money probably a lot of places.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron's going to make money no matter where he goes. So this is really big. Because you just don't get to the finals just to lose.
Exactly. And then, there's lots to talk about. I wanted to kind of discuss Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and their numbers, but if you look it up, because I did, they basically put up the same numbers that they've been putting up all year. So that's kind of out of the question. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, they're going to do their thing. Klay Thompson was phenomenal in Game 6. We both.
My God.
Yeah.
Woo!
That was incredible. So that's kind of pointless to talk about. I guess the other thing that I wanted to discuss is really who do you think is going to win this series? How many games? What do you think?
I've got the Warriors winning this series in 6 games.
Okay.
And the reason why is just the backcourt of the Warriors. They do not consistently shoot back. When they are hot, there is something about it where it just demoralizes the opponent and breaks their will. When Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, the Splash Brothers, are hitting shots, they are unreal. And I just don't know if the Cavs have the defense to stop them. They are just on fire right now. I think they got their mojo back. And I just don't see any way, honestly, that the Cavs can stop that shooting of the Warriors because LeBron's going to do what he has to do. But if a guy like Kyrie Irving, who had problems with Kyle Lowry, what is he going to have with Steph Curry, who's a way better player? And Klay Thompson, I just don't see if somebody like J.R. Smith or Iman Shumpert is going to guard him. You saw what happened last year. I just think their defense is back too. That's another thing. Klay Thompson is the best defensive two guard in the NBA. Doesn't get enough credit. This guy plays both ways, and I just think that it's going to be very solid. What do you think about this series?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Okay, here's the thing. I'm actually kind of really excited for this series. Yeah, it's Cleveland and the Warriors, and everybody wanted to see it, but kind of just like the matchups you were talking about, like Klay Thompson and J.R. Smith. That's going to be really fun to watch.
Yes.
Maybe J.R. Smith will actually catch fire.
Yeah. Yellow J.R. Smith. If he goes and starts shooting all those yellow threes that go in, hey, that changes the whole series.
And then we've been a little bit quiet because we haven't really talked about it. We've been a little bit quiet about Draymond Green. We mentioned Draymond Green earlier. I can't wait to see what Draymond Green's going to do in this series. Yes. Hopefully he can kind of keep his mouth shut, keep his temper down. I just want him to put up the numbers that made him an NBA All-Star this year. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes. I love his passing. I love when he's not trying to be some kind of all-star shooter and score and just rebound and pass the ball and just lock down defense with blocks. And if he does that, then that's what makes the Warriors, in my opinion, because then you have a phenomenal defender, and then you also have all the shooting and all of the rebounding and everything that comes with Bogut and Festus Ezeli and, Mo Buckets and stuff of that nature.
And then this question might sound really simple, and it's really your opinion. True or false, the Cavs bench and the Warriors bench needs to show up in the NBA Finals. True or false?
True, more on the Cavs end.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
And I say because Matthew Dellavedova has to show up.
Yes.
Guys like Iman Shumpert has to show up. They need down low play. They cannot just have LeBron go up at the key and go one-on-one to the basket. That is not going to win, as they tried to last year. They have to be full in connection with every guy on the roster for them. For the Warriors, they have a team that, yes, they need to get some, contribution from Festus Ezeli, Mo Space, guys like that, but they have more firepower in their starting lineup than the Cavs do.
Exactly, yeah. And that's basically it. And that's really all I wanted to discuss. Is there anything last minute you wanted to discuss?
I just want to ask you, what do you think if LeBron would lose this finals? What would this mean for his overall legacy?
Gotcha. Well, first off, I'm not sure if I made my prediction yet.
What is yours?
I'm kind of rooting for the Warriors just because of the history. I mean, you can't go 73-9 and not make the NBA Finals, which they did. So as far as history goes, I want the Warriors to win the NBA title. And honestly, I feel like going 6 games is kind of underappreciated nowadays.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I'm rooting for the Warriors. If the Cavs win, Cavs win. To answer your question about LeBron's legacy, here's the thing. I'm going to go back to history. It would mean a lot for history. Like, oh, LeBron made 6 straight NBA Finals, because we haven't seen anything like that in years. Yes. So it's good as far as the legacy. But if he goes into the NBA Finals and loses the series, you can also look at it like it's a really bad thing. And it's going to make, and especially with social media and all these broadcasters and reporters and everything, it might make LeBron look worse. He's one of the greatest players in NBA history. He's got all these awards, stats. And what, he's only 30, 31?
Yes, 31.
But it's like, you got to win, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta win.
People don't like losing. And, he might be compared to the Buffalo Bills of the 1990s, with them going to 4 straight Super Bowls and losing. You've got to win if you're LeBron, because if you bring the title to Cleveland, you will be remembered forever and ever and ever. That is what this is all about. It's not about what he did in Miami. It's about him bringing a title to Cleveland, period.
And here's the thing. LeBron's a smart guy. He's not an idiot. It's like he knows. But I really do feel like maybe people need to be like, yeah, he made it 6 straight times, and that's great. But it's so tough because of just the media aspect. The media blows everything up.
Yeah, I mean, he's living in a time where everything's blown up. They hate you. They love you. They hate you again. They're confused.
Yep.
All the tweets, all the Facebook stuff, it's just it's overblown. So the narratives get out of control. And I do feel sorry for LeBron in that sense. Steph Curry in the same sense. It's you can't celebrate. You can't do anything now. You just have to be some kind of like robot.
Yep. You can't like drink a soda or something without the media blowing it up.
Yeah,
LeBron is sponsored by this now. Steph Curry does this.
Yes, I mean, Steph Curry dances too much. He's cocky. Well, now he's a family man. He's this. LeBron, he doesn't smile at others. He's this. He chastises his teammates too much. It's just, if you are a superstar, you are just on a level of like just magnetized attention that's ridiculous.
So before we close out and before you give your shout outs to your channel, which by the way, I will link everything down below, I have a quick, fun, true or false question. It's really your opinion. Do you like it when Steph Curry shoots it and then runs away or whatever? Do you like that?
I love it.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
it. I can't lie.
Yes.
I love it. You know, you can't lie what he did.
Dude, it is pretty. He makes it look so pretty.
Oh, man. I mean, hey, you know, it ain't stunting if you can do it.
Dude, I won't lie, like, I'm out on the court and I practice that. I'll, like, shoot it and run.
Yeah. How does it work out for you? Does it say do the same
No, it doesn't
thing?
work out.
Oh, okay. Doesn't do the same thing. But, hey, you know, I love it. You know, it's fun. I don't think it's to show the opponent off. This guy is just a showman. And, guys, you've got to appreciate Steph Curry. I just want to tell you, people have got to stop this. This is a once-in-a-generation player. The way he shoots, the way he can just hit shots in the pressure situations. People have got to start appreciating him and stop all this silliness.
Everyone watching right now, everyone watching, look at me in the eye. You got to appreciate it.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Because I honestly don't think we will ever see this again. This type of shooting and this type of just consistent will to win.
Yep. So with that being said, Brian, this episode was a lot of fun. This video was a lot of fun. Brian, where can they find you? Because it's going to be linked down below. Where can they find you at?
Definitely. They can find me on Twitter, personally, at crunch_TYME. Also on Twitter, my business webpage or tweet is Unrivaled Multimedia. Also, Unrivaled Multimedia on Instagram. And you can find me on Instagram personally at Brian.Greer, Greer.
Yep. And like I said, guys, please go follow Brian. This is going to be on both of our channels. I'll have links to everything down below, including all my stuff. It's at Brandon Condren. The YouTube channel is Brandon Condren TV. Please subscribe to both of our channels. This has been our NBA Finals discussion 2016. I am so pumped up for the NBA Finals. Brian, we will definitely do this again, man.
Definitely, man. Appreciate you joining me.
Yep. Thank you so much, man. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, guys.